Hey, it's been a while, and it's about time that I made a video, so here it is. Where have I been for the last few months? It's been quite a while since I last made a video on this channel, so I thought it would be useful. I thought it would be really good for me to update or let you guys know on whatever it is that I'm doing or have been preoccupied with past few months, lately, in life in general. Not that very many people would care, but for the very niche few people that do, well, that's all that matters for me anyways. So I'm gonna do this video in a bit of a freestyle form. So I've got my journal right here and I've got a few points written down and I'm just gonna go off on it. Again, no fancy edits. This video, it's gonna be raw, no fancy edits, no cinematic styles, none of those fancy angles or edits or script. It's just gonna be absolutely unscripted. Anyway, so where have I been? In short, I've really been working on figuring out what my priorities in life and just living life in general. That's why I've been off screen, as well as dealing with a few other challenges and loads of introspection. Now I'm gonna go off on these points one by one. I'm gonna talk about figuring out my priorities. So lately, not lately, the past few months or like in the past 1 year or so, there have been a lot of changes in my life. I've been doing loads of stuff, partaking in a myriad of activities, meeting new people, engaging with them, spending time with them, and trying out new activities. So in that, there have been many wins, and there have also been many lessons as well. I'm going to talk about more of them in another video sometime in the future. But through them, the most important thing I learned was how I really tend to function. So what my absolute base instincts are when it comes to certain situations, how I really tend to think and how I really tend to experience emotions, situations, people, etc. So I've really been putting work in to sort of really introspect, look inwards, and really ask myself, or just not thinking, just observing what I really do, what I really tend to do. And that's given a lot of insight into how I function and how my approach in life and productivity in general should be. So yeah, that's why I've unplugged from social media, from content creation and stuff, to figure out what I truly want. Because the thing about content creation is, at least for me, right, it's going to be a me video. So the thing about content creation for me personally is the way I was doing it, it left no room for life experiences. So what would happen is, back when I used to make all the video, to be honest, I didn't really have a life. So it would just be, back when I was in my country, I used to attend my online classes. Yeah, it was just classes, and then it was just studying, and yeah, the rest of the time I had ample time to make videos and stuff. So I would make videos. That's all I would do in my free time. But after coming here in Malaysia as well, what I would initially do is just go to university and then get back home as soon as possible, freshen up and study, do all the things that need to be done, and then carve out time to make the content. But the problem was, due to the nature of the content of this channel, which relates to life experiences, documentation, etc., and things that I really find fascinating, things that I like doing, all that. The problem was I wasn't I wasn't devoting time to experiencing life. And so what would happen is, although I would have ample time for creating content, I wouldn't know what to create content about, because I wasn't putting myself out there and actually experiencing life. And so because my life would just consist of uni, home, and studying, and ample time to make content, I didn't experience life. I didn't have much of a social life, so we humans are social creatures, and that's one of the most important parts of our lives. So then what would happen is I'd find myself kind of purposeless, experienceless, and as a result, due to less variety being in my life, less new experiences being in my life, I would find that whenever I would try to sit down and create a video, I would find myself stuttering a lot. I mean, if I tried making a video like this, I guarantee you that I would probably be repeating the same sentence over and over again, like 5 or 10 times, just for the perfect take. Like, that's how bad it was. And it's a miracle. I mean, now that I look back and compare myself as I'm recording this video, it's a miracle that I'm actually able to talk freely, talk without anxiousness, talk from the bottom of my heart, basically. And yeah, I think it's marvelous, and it really goes to show how devoting time to experiencing life actually translates to the camera and the content that you make. Anyways, so that was a bit of a rant. Now let's talk a bit about the style of content that I'm going to be making, and the stylistic choices, the effects, the edits, and how it's going to change. So this one that you're experiencing right now, if you've made it this far into the video, is just sort of a cozy, down-to-earth chit-chat with you guys, the camera being close to my face. Before I'd make like these fancy hyper-edited videos, I actually wanted to go that route where you'd have things changing every second. These effects go on here, a text over here, some B-roll, A-roll, this, that. And yeah, I mean, I did make a video like that before. That was back in 2023, early 2023. But one thing that like, people absolutely loved that video, don't get me wrong. I had a blast editing it as well, though I burned myself out. But one thing really stood out to me that, as I look back, it's starting to make a lot of sense, which is, it was a great video. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I had a blast watching that video. I don't really remember what it was about, but I do remember that I had a lot of fun watching it. And yeah, it was energetic. It was edited so well. But now that I look back, it's like, people didn't really care about what I was saying. All they cared about was the edit. Not really care about what I had to say or wanted to say, but just that, yeah, it was edited, things were changing all the time. And yeah, I mean, as a consumer myself, as a consumer of YouTube content as well, I find that, yes, I do tend to watch these videos, but it would make me feel weary, tired, burnt out. And yes, I would enjoy it. I would have an experience, sure, but I wouldn't really remember what it is that I watched. And so if I do the same thing for my content as well, that would be a bane for my content, because the ideas that I would talk about, the reflections that I would do, they by nature require you to pause, reflect, and really think about what it is that was being spoken about. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna do any of those hyper edited videos unless it's really necessary for me to push a particular point forward. And that brings me to the second part, which is the cinematic style. I mean, sure, I do love making those kinds of videos, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, I'm prioritizing, again, back to my first point, which is living life, actually experiencing life. That's like the forefront of my state of being, and this recording and documentation is second. It seems obvious, but it did not used to be this way back, even a year back, or even a few months back, when I was trying to make, better quality videos. And that's because I would try to document things as I was experiencing them, and so the way my mind works is that it kind of focuses on multiple different things all at once. So what would happen is, let's say I'm just taking a look out of this window and looking at the clouds. Instead of me being 100% present in looking at the clouds, the sky, the view beyond the mountains and stuff, a part of my mind would be like, okay, I would place the camera here. This would be the angle. This would be what I would say in the background. This would be the color grading, and this would be the B-roll, and this, that, yada, yada, yada. And yes, it would aid to the art of my video, but it would take away from the most fundamental thing for me, which is actually experiencing the thing that I'm trying so hard to document. So one of the biggest challenges for me was actually unplugging and removing the urge to actually document and make the video, and instead put it all away, put everything away, and see things with my own eyes, my five senses, and actually enjoy what it is that I'm experiencing and looking at, and laughing and smiling, and just feeling absolutely freshened up and euphoric from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, that's why, unless that particular device, whether it be the editing style or the cinematic style, unless they're really important to push forward a particular point that I'm trying to make, or to make you understand a particular point, or convey a particular concept that I'm trying to explain, I'm not going to use them. It's less work from my end as well, unless it really makes the video interesting and engaging, but the main priority being that thing translating well into your head. I'm not going to do it. It's less effort from my end. So 80-20 rule, focusing on the few that actually matters and gets most of the results done. So what else? But yeah, same goes for the production value as well. I would buy all these fancy neon lights, and I would not make a video because I wanted to complete the studio first before I would make these videos. And at some point I realized, when's the last time that I actually watched a video with a full-blown studio, and when's the last time I actually cared about stuff like that? What are the types of content that really resonate with me? And the answer was not these really professionally lit studios with, I don't know, hundreds of dollars to the production value, but just down-to-earth, simple, minimalistic, and real. So simple, down-to-earth, minimalistic, and real sets that really evoke a bit of a cozy atmosphere, a cozy down-to-earth atmosphere, where it's just the person talking to the camera back at you and really caring about what you have to think, and really caring about what he's trying to put forward, as opposed to something that's entirely devoted to making money, making sure that you are retained on the video, that you're hyper focused on the video all the time through things changing every second. No? I mean, it was cool, sure. I appreciate the craftsmanship of that, but what's the end result? What's the end result if not done properly and done without proper thought, proper supervision. Anyways, anyways, let me talk about the one thing that I've really been interested about recently, and that is programming and building things. So I'm gonna go on a bit of a short rant here, and I'm gonna hopefully make another video based on this particular topic of programming and why I'm learning to love it, how I'm learning to suddenly love it, despite me just avoiding it for the past 3 years or so. So basically, programming, I am absolutely loving the way that I'm able to learn problem solving, and just how it just how like an art piece where initially you have all these messy scribbles, messy lines, messy outlines, but you've got the vision for it, and then slowly, stroke by stroke, code by code, line by line, you start building stuff where initially it looks so messy, but then as more and more time goes on, you're able to build something that you yourself had in your head, some idea that you had in your head, and you're using your problem solving skills and your reasoning skills and your coding skills to make that into a reality. I mean, think about how awesome that is, that you're actually able to make a fully functional application that solves a particular problem in your life or someone else's. It can just be for the fun of it, or for solving your particular problem, or to scale it up, and you can actually build a business on top of it. And that's something that I really starting to love. I mean, back when I was starting out, it was very demotivating, but after being done with the majority of my courses, I'm actually starting to love it a little bit more. So that brings me to another point, which is me actually preparing for employment, 9-to-5 employment. Yeah, I know that's kind of contrary to what I was believing I would do for the past 3 or 4 years. Sure, I mean, 9-to-5, that thing, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. Of course not. But what I was thinking about was, if I am to build a business myself, I would first and foremost need funding, and I would love to bootstrap it, like fund it all on my own, and then continue on building and scaling that business. So I was thinking, so the past few years, for the past few years, ever since I started personal development, my attitude towards this was that I would never work a 9-to-5, never in my life. I would just go straight to business, and that would be it. But life has other plans for me. Allah has other plans for me. So what looks to be the way is that I use my coding skills, use whatever it is, like, enjoy programming, enjoy building stuff, use my creativity, use my problem solving skills, use my learning skills and my building skills to build fully fledged apps or whatever, solve whatever problems, because at the end of the day, business is about solving problems. So do that, keep honing that skill. Employment, there's like that whole journey. So do that, earn a bit of money, save some stuff up, and I don't really require much cash to function properly, so it can be guaranteed that it will not be a problem to put that money back into the business. So then I would be able to invest more into the content creation side of things. And then just little by little, I'd be able to grow this channel into like a community of the like-minded people who think deeply, people who really want to get more out of life and want to do something different. So do that, be productive, and maximize our existence on this planet. So yeah, for now, my plan would be to seek employment. And that's exactly what I'm preparing for. So before employment, I would need the internship. For the internship, I would need the projects. For building the projects, I would need to hone my programming skills, app building skills, basically. So yeah, I never thought that I would actually enjoy this, but I'm starting to enjoy the process. And that brings me to another point, which is what I've been embodying recently, which is feel-good productivity. Is sort of playfulness when it comes to life, when it comes to work. Before, I used to be serious about every single thing, and that would kind of take away the enjoyment, the journey, the sort of discoveries that, the sense of discovery that would exist. So recently I've been employing that, and Alhamdulillah, it's worked wonders. It's worked wonders for my day-to-day existence in life and how I approach things. And so it's not like so casual that I really don't care about any of the rules or getting the beauty or the standard of things that I'm about to get done, but not so serious that there's no enjoyment from it at all. It's sort of like that beautiful middle ground where that we used to be able to do as kids, when we really didn't care about getting it done right, getting it done 100% to the T, but just exploring and learning something new, trying out something new, having fun with it, playing around with it, not taking it so seriously. Because I've been employing that, and all of a sudden everything's just become a sort of a game. It's sort of got into that curiosity inducing point where every new thing, every new challenge is like, yeah, I mean, sure, if it stresses me out, if it makes me anxious, sure, I allow myself to feel those emotions and validate them and tell myself that they're real emotions that I'm facing. But then again, it's like, everything's sort of like a game. So, don't worry too much about it, because as much powerful our minds are, our brains are, it can only process so much information, so much emotion at once before it kind of gets worn out, before it needs to take rest. So the thing is, if I'm hyperfixating on a particular thing and being very anxious about it, it makes no sense, because the number one goal for me is to actually properly get that particular thing done. And if I'm anxious about it, then I'm not able to devote 100% of my brain power to that particular thing. And so if I approach it with a sense of playfulness, with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of, oh, let's try this out, or, oh, let's explore this, let's see what it's all about, let's go on an adventure, let's have some fun, it's a good day to have some fun, to explore a new thing. Then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, it's just, yeah, sure. It's a bit challenging, but it's like, it's only a small part of whatever it is. And I don't need to make this small part a big part of this particular task or particular job that I'm trying to do. And I find this translating really well to getting done more boring, more mundane tasks that I'd normally just stay the hell away from. So for example, going to the insurance office or to the visa office to get my paperwork done and stuff. So before I'd chronically procrastinate on stuff like that and just not get them done at all. And just putting them off until it was really time for me to actually get it done, or else the consequences would be severe. But as soon as I flip the switch from going to do something boring, something menial, to okay, let's go on an adventure together. Let's go and explore what that office is like, or what the people are like, how they interact, what new thing that you can learn, what, it doesn't matter. Like if you're stuck in the room all the time, then it's, you're not gonna get things done anyway. So, just put on some clothes, get ready, put on your bags, and just go for an adventure, you're gonna walk around, you're gonna get some exercise done, you're gonna get closer to your fitness goals. It's gonna be an adventure. Let's go on an adventure today and see what you're gonna experience. So I flipped the switch like that, and all of a sudden, Alhamdulillah, I find myself being able to do things that I normally would just put off a lot. And yeah, things that I would previously procrastinate to the point that they would not get done and I'd suffer. So yeah, the thing that I'm speaking about, know that this has been cultivated from months of suffering from my end. Anyways, what else do I have for your name? Yeah. I guess that's about it. I'll probably make a video on this journal system and how it's changing my life for the better. Alhamdulillah. Makes a new video about the playfulness that I talked about and focusing on implementing the concepts, implementing whatever it is that I've learned. Like that's like the number one thing being actually your life or your existence, your day-to-day life changing as a result of you implementing the concept as opposed to just reading it once and forgetting it. So that's been another thing that I've been doing. So I'll probably make a video on that. And yeah, fingers crossed. The content side of things, it's gonna take a bit of a backseat. I mean, I was gonna put in the work to growing this channel to 10,000 subscribers this year, but one thing that I've learned is social media isn't everything. I mean, this isn't everything. So, and things that you do offline is actually more valuable than the things that you do online. There's actual value in things that you do offline as well. As funny as it sounds to say it, but yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the reality that we are living in right now. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to post the next video, but yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, these are basically going to be the changes to the channel, to the style of videos, to my life in general. And yeah, I've got nothing more to add. Just experiencing this beautiful morning of a day in Ramadan, in the last 10 days of Ramadan. It just feels very awesome. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.